Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gents. You're listening to Way Out Radio, the very best punk, ska and reggae around. Hope you're having an amazing day. And we're back today with the incredible Buster Shuffle. We've got the lead singer, Jet, with us right now. How you doing, man?
All right, how are you doing over there? Nice to chat with you.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Whereabouts are you? Because you're an East London band, aren't you?
Correct, yeah. Just on the outskirts of East London right now as I speak to you in a place called Epping, which is
Right, okay.
right at the end on the Central Line, so I can still get into town. Not that that makes any difference right now because nothing's open.
So you're in crass territory then?
Yeah, indeed.
Nice.
Well, we're actually technically Essex, so yeah. I mean, I've always been London, but moved out a little bit further to the forest and a bit of nature on my doorstep, which is nice.
Nice one. So when you do your DIY stuff, your merch and that lot, I mean, do you ever like just ring up Steve Ignorant and go, how do you manage this, mate?
You know what? I keep on hoping I'll bump into him in Epping High Street because I don't know if he do you know, does he still live around here? I know they're Epping band, but
no,
I don't know if they're
he
local
doesn't
fellas.
actually. He lives in Norwich.
Okay.
I want to say. Yeah,
he's moved out. Well, maybe if
yeah.
he's visiting his roots, I'll keep my eyes peeled for him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he pops around. Like Penny and G and Eve are usually around that area. So yeah, they still got the Dial House going. I've been there recently.
Wicked. Well, yeah. So that's where we are. East London is it's southeast and East London. Hackney, Lewisham now, kind of up round this way, pushing into Harlow. Some of the lads. So yeah, all good.
Cool. Yeah, so guys, if you don't know about Buster Shuffle, they're absolutely brilliant band. They're just like channeling East London Cockney craziness. Jet plays the keys, and it's just a proper Cockney knees up. And they're channeling a bit of like madness and the ska scene and specials, that sort of thing. And they've been on tour with like absolutely everybody. I'll list them a little bit later, but let's stick to the point. So right now they're celebrating the 10-year anniversary and they're re-releasing their debut album, which is called Our Night Out. And you can abbreviate that to Oh No. And the guys were thinking Oh No when it happened in the middle of lockdown. So what's been going on, guys?
Well, yeah, we were planning for our 10th anniversary of Our Night Out some shows like key cities for us, which would be a nice London show, maybe Manchester, and then Berlin, Amsterdam, just a few like big sort of European cities. Obviously that's out the window, so we weren't going to do anything, and then we thought, well, let's try and pull something together, and we thought then the best thing we could do is re-release Our Night Out on some nice coloured vinyl, add a few tracks that were written back in the day when we wrote Our Night Out, and we were gigging a lot of different songs in all manner of boozers and working men's clubs all over London. And yeah, that's come together. We've managed to record the extra, the bonus tracks whilst we weren't on lockdown in the summer, record a few live videos at a boozer that we really like in Harlow called The Herald. So we're releasing this, re-releasing Our Night Out, having remixed it, remastered it, added some bonus tracks to celebrate its 10th birthday. So that's that's the mojo right now.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of reissues because I work with Viva La Rock, and I mean, usually there's like the Ruts, the Buzzcocks, like the Clash, like everybody does reissues. But what I really love is when it's more than just a remix. So you got coloured vinyl, you got the new tracks. Yeah, tell us a bit about what you've added for the fans.
Yeah, so coloured vinyl, there's 3 colours of vinyl, limited run that have been 100 each colour. So we've got a red one, blood red, agent orange, and a toxic yellow, each 100 of each colour, should I say, and then a load of black. So there's different bundles and things you can get from our web store, t-shirts and such. But the actual bonus tracks, they were 2 songs that we gigged heavily back in the day that didn't make the album, and it's been really nice to record them, resurrect them from old demos as well. Because when the album come out, we kind of gigged the album. We didn't play a couple of these songs, and they fell by the wayside. So they've been given a new lease of life, been recorded, and it's nice to see them make the record this time round. So
definitely.
So yeah, it's a bit of new music in there with the reissue, which is nice.
Wicked. So I've been told it's tunes about drunken arguments, crafty cats, antisocial night buses,
Oh yeah.
dirty old women,
We,
messy divorces.
yeah.
So has it brought back a lot of memories revisiting the tunes?
Yeah, I think some of the songs like we play a lot live nowadays, so they're kind of, you know, there with me. But going back over the other ones that we don't do live, but I haven't heard for a while, that definitely, yeah, it's like, because you get the test pressing of the vinyl, so you have to listen to it multiple copies to make sure there's no audio glitches. So I did that a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, listening to the songs that we don't gig live. Arthur MacArthur, which is about a cat that I rescued, beloved cat. He lived in Hackney with us in the shared house. So that's one we don't gig. And then even like the 38, which is about a bus that we used to get from Hackney over to Islington, a lot of antisocial behaviour on that. So it's made me think, oh, I want to get these songs back in the set. So it's nice to rehear it, relive it a bit, especially on lockdown, because, you know, what else is there to do? Reminisce.
Yeah, the good old days.
The good old days when you're allowed to play music. Yeah,
I know, it's a killer, isn't it? So it's like going back in time to like Soviet Union or something, where you're like not allowed to be creative.
Yeah,
quite scary.
Yeah, man, it's going back, or maybe a dystopian future that we're heading into. I don't know. I'm like, oh, I hope it does all go back to normal. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure it will.
Get back out there. I keep getting like random phone calls of like some people being brave and trying to book stuff that, like, I got an offer to go to Malta for New Year's Eve, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. And it's just like all these contracts are like, shall we, shan't we, shall we, shan't we?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
I think until we've had to reschedule the 100 Club gig that we had. This is our third date now, and when we had to reschedule it for the third time, it's like, let's just boot it back into 21. So it's like November 21, so just over a year away. So hopefully there'll be a vaccine and bands will be back doing what we do.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that you've changed the label from what you originally released it on, because now you have your own label, which is called Do Nothing Records.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. I mean, that takes a lot of hard work to run your own label and do everything yourself. So tell me a bit about how you guys came around to like having your own label.
So this was re-released. Oh no, it was re-released originally on Century Media. We licensed it to them for 10 years, and
see what you did there.
So yeah, basically the license expired with them. They had their you know, they got what they you know, what they needed to out of it. Yeah. And I'm very happy to see it return to us. So thankfully, on our part, we had a bit of advice at the time when they were interested, rather than just sign it over to them and they would have had it forever. We licensed it, which was cool. So it came back to us. Yeah, I mean, not something that's easy to do, for a lot of bands, and a lot of labels insist that they own it for life, and all that. So we got it back, and we decided we wanted to put it out on our own label this time, with the help of our manager, and he's got a label, HFMN Crew, over in I should say Barcelona, it's Badalona. And yeah, so we're doing it ourselves, which is nice, because hopefully we get to reap the rewards of 10 years of hard work, and actually maybe see some of the returns ourselves. I don't think Sony need any more money. They can just jog on for a little bit. Yeah, this is our moment. This is our moment.
Take it, grab it with both hands.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you release any other bands on your label?
No, well, you know, it's something we're talking about, to be honest. And once the infrastructure's there, it's like, do we want to use it for other bands? There's certainly a lot of other bands I would like to put out. I mean, I guess a lot of them have got labels already, but it'd be a nice position to be in. So it's definitely something for the future. Possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Just another kettle of fish, isn't it? Another lot of hard work, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not like it's a labour of love doing it right, you know, for ourselves and all, you know, as you know, kind of how the sort of DIY thing and making getting as much out of situations as you can and doing it off your own back and all of that. It's doing it for another band. It'd have to be the right band that are prepared to go out and gig and work hard and do all of that. You could spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, money for a band, and if they're not prepared to tour, for example, you'd just be like, you got to go out and work it. And a lot of young bands, some are great at going out and working it, and other bands, I don't know, the graft kind of, it scares them and it implodes. So we'd have to think carefully about it, but it'd be a nice thing to do, eh?
You have to hook them up to a lie detector before you sign up. Be like, right, will you tour?
Yeah.
relentlessly
find out who the divas are in the band that are going to cause it to implode. Who's going to suddenly try and cancel a tour halfway through, pull out.
Get in their heads.
Yeah. So someone's thrown a wobbly and quit the band because the towels weren't the right colour or softness backstage, so they're quitting, and you got to deal with that.
Nip that in the bud straight away.
Man, it's bad enough for the band with our band, let alone with dealing with other people's bands and the egos that go with it. So
it's like, oh, my marriage is kind of a full-time job. Let me just worry about everyone else's marriage, and it's kind of like that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's like I don't know, as time goes on, how much time and patience I would have for other people's dramas. Being in a band is enough of a drama. Yeah. Like you say, it's a marriage. You don't. There's a reason we don't all have multiple wives and husbands. It's because you can't keep it all going. That's just it's not like it's not doable, is it?
Like spinning plates.
Yeah.
Are you happy? Are
you happy? Yeah. And I mean, I don't fancy spinning plates, man. The band is keeps me busy enough. So yeah. But maybe never say never.
All right, cool. So, favorite track on the album, the first album?
Oh God! Which one do I have here? And I think, I really like that. Well, I'm fond of all of them, to be honest. But the one that I think's maybe the opening track, title track, "Our Night Out," because it's just like straight at them, and I remember writing it and it coming together really quickly, and then at home when I was just penning it, and then getting with the boys, and then it coming together really quickly and going, cool, that's nice. Let's hope all the songs can come just so fast and so natural. And of course they haven't and don't. So it kind of captured a moment. That's the thing. We were gigging lots of pubs. We weren't getting any proper gigs. No one was interested. We were just doing it for fun, and that was always one when we were playing like the Dolphin in Hackney, for example, where we'd be doing a lot of other covers and rock and roll, mainly rock and roll, Little Richie, Fats Domino, Chuck Berry stuff, and a few other like punk songs, and then we'd throw in our own like compositions, and that was one of them that you'd see no drop off with the dance floor, which was nice. And that was like, our songs are holding their own in a set where we're throwing a lot of covers in there just to piss up people in a pub. So it was a good test and a good memory, like that song being written, played very quickly live, and then going. Normally when you do your own song, everyone would leave the dance floor and they'd go to the bar, but we'd managed to keep it going with Our Night Out. So it was like, we're on to something.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because when you watch your videos, and like I've been checking out the live sessions you've been doing, it's quite an old art form that you've got. I mean, like there was a time when the time of the Great British Pub, when like every pub would have like a guy like you just entertaining people on the keys, and just everyone would sing along. And now you're like a rare breed. So how did you get into that, and how do you feel about being like almost like the last man standing of something that's a real amazing tradition in London?
Yes, it's a good question, good point. It's something that I guess we're big fans of, Madness and Clash and all of those great London bands and British band specials that influenced us and have. But there's that rock and roll thing we liked as well, and the other thing is the Chaz and Dave element, which a lot of people see because play the piano and sing in a London accent. So they go, oh, you're a bit like Chaz and Dave. And we played a lot with Chaz and Dave. And since Chaz, you know, passing away, and I spent a lot of time chatting with Chaz about playing piano and singing songs, it's kind of like he was the, you know, the godfather of that. Get him on a piano, he'd sing, and it'd be incredible entertainment, incredible music. And yeah, he's obviously passed away, and I'm kind of like thinking that, yeah, there's not a lot of that anymore. Certainly not that crosses over into the punk rock scene as well. So for a few years, I was trying to kind of lose that sort of geezer on the piano thing, because I thought we need to be more punk rock and kind of pick up our energy and maybe compete with those US bands that we'd started playing with, and making lots of friends with bands from the States that have got this, like, you know, super light show, fireworks, people flying it, you know, all this sort of stuff. And we're little you know, London Essex lads, and how do you compete? And actually going back to just being a piano player and singing songs and telling stories is something I really like. Doing the live sessions that we've done for the re-release of Our Night Out, we did it in a pub in Harlow called the Herald, and that was just really nice. Playing in a boozer, landlord's great, he just let us set it all up for the day, get all the cameras, all the audio equipment. Then we just started having a few beers and playing music. There was no crowd because no one was allowed in the pub, it was during the day, but just that sort of music and pubs is really important for where we came from. And all the people that we love played in pubs, like Ian Dury and the Blockheads, Early Madness, Early Specials. And it's a shame that pubs don't have that anymore. And if you do see a band in a pub, it's quite often cacking it. It's like bad covers, bad blues, bad this and that. You know, so yeah, I maybe am a bit of a the last man standing on, being piano and playing in pubs, but it's something we really enjoy doing. And even when we're not doing Bust Your Shuffle tours, we still go out and gig in pubs under a different name just for fun, doing like Chaz and Dave covers and Fats Domino and all of that, just for fun. So it's part of our DNA. That's a really long-winded answer for you.
Thank you.
We shall keep it going.
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw you was supporting Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, and I didn't know what to expect. And then when I saw them wheel the piano out, and I was just like, oh, this isn't going to be very like lively. I don't really know what's going to happen here. But then you came on, and I was just like, I really like this. I was just like, yeah, it was really good. And I don't know, it was just a nice surprise, you know, because there are like quite a few bands who in the past have had like keyboard playing or piano playing front men or front women, and you're just like poles apart from that. It's just like the energy's there, the band's like really together, you got that total ska vibe, and yeah, it was wicked. Really enjoyed it.
So that was at Manchester, did you say, or was it in London that you
No, that was in London.
Yeah, at the Kentish Town at the Forum, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, because a lot of people, I think, are, especially the more, or like the people more in the punk rock side of the punk rock kind of ska scene, because they're like, hey, what's a piano doing? It should be guitars and bass. And and then if we can win people over, and like for them just to see that we're having a bit of energy, a bit of a laugh, playing our instruments as well as we can, and just kicking out a bit of vibe. It's
it is different, so it's quite iconic in a way, because I mean, like, people remember you by the piano, the band, the whole band, because they're just like, who's that band with the piano? Oh, that's Buster Shuffle. Like, it's very visual, and it's just like different, and people will go, who's that band with two geezers in? And you'll sort of list a few bands. It's just like, but you've got something that straight away, like, people know what it is.
It's our thing. That's I mean, that's great to hear, because I mean, like I say, there was a time where it's like, go more punk rock, lose the piano, and it's like, actually no, it's like upright piano in pubs. It's where we're from. It's like, I don't know, deleting your past. It's like, I can't, no. I mean, there are times now I used to do a whole hour and a half gig just behind the piano. That there are some songs that doesn't need piano, so I can come off, hold the mic a bit, move around the stage, have it a little bit more. But it's like, don't want to lose the piano is the thing. It's like we might be on a big stage, but you still want it to work in that little pub environment. At least that's always in my mind. These songs, the entertainment, the whole vibe, performance and attitude should be able to work in a boozer. And if it can work well in a boozer with a load of piss blokes standing like a couple of feet away, it should be able to translate into a bigger venue where they're not 2 feet away, they're 20 feet away.
Yeah, totally. And also for people who are from London and who love that culture, who even like, I mean, say 40 years ago, like my dad's generation, they're like they were there for the specials, the beat madness, they were there for pub rock, and they loved it. And then it like brings all that back for them. And then people who like a bit younger, like me, I love Only Fools. I come from a family with like an Only Fools granddad and you know, and the dad, and like my family are the characters of like shows like that, and we love the music. So it's just like, it's really important to the fans as well, because they're just like, I wanted this. There's no bands doing this. It's cool. You know?
I mean, that's something we get a lot. It used to bother us at the start, that like, you know, when we were, what did we start, 14, 15 years ago? It took us 4 or 5 years to write an album, get it out there before anyone had any interest in what we're doing. But then they're like, oh, you remind us a bit of this, you remind us a bit of that. And we were like, oh, we can't sound like older bands. We have to find our own sound, listening to dickhead A&R people giving you advice, sound a bit more, and then it's like, don't sound too London. It's like, hang on, what are we going to sound like then? And then you realise that there's loads of people talk shit in this industry, and it's like, just do what you do and do what you want to do. And you know, I was singing an American accent. I'm not going to sing in a, I don't know, regional accent, like pretend I'm Welsh just to try and get radio play or so. I don't know what they, when I say they, the people in the industry who give you this pony advice, like sound less London. So sack all that off, do what you do, sound what you sound like. And then, the last few years, people are going, oh, you remind us of, you know, like Specials meets Madness, or Madness meets Chaz and Dave, or something, you know, whatever it is. Or sometimes it's like Jerry Lee Lewis, you like rock and roll meets Madness, and it's like, that's a really nice thing to hear, because there's not a lot of people doing that anymore. And maybe like when we went to America, I think that's where we first really started to go, and they were like, we love British music in the States, this is the vibe I get. And they're like, we're just waiting for a band to come out with the elements you've got, because the newer bands, you know, I guess do things a bit differently, the way they want it to sound. Whereas I guess there's a traditional thing with us, which is just like, if you get a piano and a guitar and a bass and drums with a bit of organ, and you don't, you know, add much else production wise with London accent, it's going to have a British authenticity, which they really like. And so it's something we're embracing now, more than kind of rejecting art 10 years ago when this album came out. Like I say, people were giving it a bit of a, it sounds a little bit like this, a little bit like that. We kind of got a bit annoyed at that. Now it's like, good. If you think it sounds a bit like Madness, that's good.
And sometimes it takes a while, like for a band to catch a wave. I mean, you can do your own thing and have your own sound, and it's like, look at, say, a band like Pulp, who are like pretty iconic now of the Britpop movement, but they were going for like 10 years and people didn't really take any notice. Or like the Smiths, I think Morrissey was in his 30s, or like a lot of people are just doing their thing, and if you stay true to it, then you'll get lucky at some point, won't you? Sleaf of Mods, they're old guys, aren't they? And then they caught the wave.
I think that's it. If you start chasing the sound and like something Wonk Unit, I've seen with I haven't actually met those guys, but like with interviews and bits when you see on Instagram things they post, it's like, you know, they're saying don't chase it. It's like you see these bands that say, I need to sound like this now, I need to go that way, and it's really tempting when someone says, oh, you sound a bit London, change your accent. Or he didn't say change your accent. It was just like, you need to do this, or, you know, and you think, okay, I'll do that. And stay true to what you do. And, you know, hopefully over time we've picked up fans. And I think people see that we're a really hard-working band and that we're flying the flag for, I guess, that sound of music, the sound that we create. And we're not fucking up our asses. There's no one giving us massive favors or handouts or anything. We're just grinding it out, and we're good entertaining band. So you know, if you've got a problem with that, it absolutely is genuine. If you've got a problem with that, that's fine, just do one, you know, and let the people who just want to enjoy it and dance around, tap their feet, then, you know, that's who we want to play to. And that kind of army of people is growing. And if we get a lucky break and things get a bit bigger, wicked. And if not, what are we going to do? Start getting synthesizers out, or dyeing our hair green and sounding like Green Day, or trying to? We're not going to do that. That's not happening. Not for us. There's lots of other younger bands that can do all that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So Buster Shuffle have been on tour with Flogging Molly, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, Mad Caddies, Less Than Jake. They've supported loads of different bands, and they've also played punk rock bowling in Las Vegas. And you joined the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones on their American leg of their tour, didn't you? So tell me a bit about all these amazing tours and support slots you played. Like what stands out for you?
Oh, I guess going to Vegas and playing that was pretty special. When it got confirmed, we were like, that was nice. And then, but even like our first ever European tour, when you haven't had a European tour and you get offered like a show in Berlin, you're like, oh my God, you know, we've gone from like Hackney to Berlin. And then with each European city, you're like, oh my God, we got a gig in Barcelona or Amsterdam. And, you know, over time, all these sort of offers and achievements, I guess, along the way build up. But going to America was great, and we really enjoyed that. The whole Mighty Boss Stones thing was incredible, and the way it developed was really nice. Just kind of out of nowhere, this invite came, and we were like, hell yeah. So that was awesome. And, you know, those guys are still friends, and we can always reach out for advice, and that could be music, sonic, like sort of mixed stuff, or just like gig touring advice, or just to chat and say hello. So it's nice to have those friendships with a band that we've grown up listening to and loving, and then have, you know, had the pleasure to tour with, and then actually become kind of pals with. It's really nice. So, I mean, so many of the other gigs, I guess over time through playing festivals, you meet bands, other bands have heard little bits about us, and then Flogging Molly, they've become good mates, I'd like to think. And so we've done good shows with them, some in the UK, and then we did a European tour with them. Little bits just coming in here and there, and I guess word spreads slowly. And when nice bands that you like invite you to go and play with them, you generally kind of say hell yeah. So that's what's happened. Like, I guess the last 3 or 4 years we've suddenly seen, you know, from not being able to get any supports as a band because we didn't know anyone and no one knew us and no one cared, you're kind of like, all right, so what do we do now? And you just keep gigging. But over time things are built up, and the last one we did right at the start of this year was the Interrupters, and that was really cool. And then the whole world shut down and we went into lockdown. So
that's really cool that you got that tour in there just before the lockdown. So you're pretty lucky.
Really lucky. I mean, look, obviously at the time we had no idea, but looking at what the world has become the last 8-9 months, it's kind of like you look back at that. Where was it? February going into March. 2 or 3 weeks later, the whole world kind of ground to a halt.
Yeah.
And we were just playing packed out venues, just like, this is normal life. No one could have known. And we had a whole UK tour off the back of the Interrupters tour. Books that's never happened. And it's like, that was frustrating, cancelling that. But c'est la vie.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Little Birdie told me that you're kind of like the Bob Geldof of the ska world, because whilst in lockdown, You recorded a 7-inch single, Unsung Heroes, with all profits going to the World Health Organization. And the single includes Die Totenhosem, uh, Flogging Molly, Hepcats, Mad Caddies, Talco, Infidels, Toy Dolls, and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and even Rhoda Dakar.
Rhoda, lovely Rhoda. Yeah, yeah, the Bob Geldof of the punk rock, or the ska punk rock rockney. Yeah, that is all true. That is true. So lockdown happened, and I think everyone was in a bit of free fall. Certainly I was, and I was like, I need to do something. I just needed I was like, I think I was probably panicking as much as anything, just like, oh my God, is this the end of being able to collaborate and write music and do all that good stuff? So both my sisters work for the NHS as well, and at the start of the pandemic, obviously no one really knew what we're dealing with. There's a big fear factor, and it's still obviously doing a lot of bad things right now, but we know a lot more about it. So my sisters were going out to work not knowing what was going on, and it was like we're all being told to stay at home and do nothing, and it's like and then it was like, no, we have to try and do something. And so I messaged a few friends in other bands saying, this is something I'm thinking out loud here, but would you be up for it? And literally amazing, everyone coming back saying yep, count us in. So with all these guys and bands around the world and girls around the world, you kind of, the next thing is like, okay, they've said yes, will they actually do it? Will they record it? Because you know what musicians are like. And then it's like, and then will they video it? Because that's, you know, you're asking to get a lot. There's no tour manager there going, come on, you got to do this. You're just relying on them self sort of, I guess, motivating. And they all come good. Everyone, I managed to get a few of the video angles are a bit wonky and stuff, but everyone delivered what they said they were going to deliver. And we put it out. And after all the costs, obviously making the vinyl and everything, we were left with that 3,000. It was bang on 3,000, just under 3,000, but we gave £3,000 to the WHO, the World Health Organization, which was a really nice thing to have done. And yeah, very proud of that and everyone that was involved in the sort of spirit, because everyone was recording at home. Some people didn't even have like, some people had like lovely home studios and it was a full clobber, but you know, a couple of people, I won't say who, were like, we can't do it because we don't even own a computer. And you're like, you can sing through your phone and we'll make it work. And it actually sounded great. So it was, a real sort of collaborative team, spirited effort. And I felt very proud of being part of a great scene and with great people that just kind of said yes. Because, you know, definitely, it's very easy just to say, nah, that's not good for our profile. Now we're not going to do that. It's not the right thing. But the people that said yes just got involved. We booted it out to tons of people, bought it, which was fantastic, supported it, chipped in extra money, all sorts. And at the end of it, it was like, bang, there's $3,000 and no one had left their house. You know, it's like, that's the best. That I'm very happy that that we did it and everyone got involved. So it's call me Bob, Mr. Geldof, Sir Geldof.
Yeah, that's one of the things, because everything's changed and we have been like stuck inside, and it was like, for me at first, I was just like doing what I usually do. I come up with ideas and then I like reach out to people and see if we can make them work. And like I was getting like way more response like from bigger artists because they were doing nothing. So they were just like, I got like Fat White Family to be part of my online festival, and I got like one of the guys from Idols to do an interview, and like they got a #1 album, and I was just like, yeah, maybe this is a good time for like people who are a bit more free, so they just like a bit more available, so they're saying yes to things they wouldn't usually have time for, which is really cool.
No, absolutely. And for us, I think the take up for the idea, I mean, we Unsung Heroes, just like, okay, that's an idea. Let's write a couple of songs about people we've never heard of that, you know, that are heroes and tell their story. And then it got momentum, and people liked our Unsung Heroes. A little boy called Iqbal Masih, who was born into slavery and was basically forced to work at carpet factories and escaped and educated the world and other people about the carpet like trade and the child slavery. And then Ruby Bridges, who obviously, you know, became very current with the Black Lives Matters and everything that kicks off whilst we're all on lockdown on that front. But I found the kind of interest in the take up was maybe more than if the world was just functioning normally, because Die Toten Hosen, which are a really, really big German band, like shared both things on their socials, on their Facebook and their Instagram, and premiered the video for us. And kind of like that size band wouldn't do that, I don't think, if it was just business as usual. They just wouldn't entertain it. And the fact that the band themselves said, yeah, let's do it, and then shared it, we were like, whoa, okay. So people are, you know, still kind of, they still want to put stuff out and feel like they're part of this music community and be involved, even though we're not allowed to do our bread and butter, which is gigging. So definitely. I don't know, have you made a lot of good new contacts whilst on lockdown because of people are more willing?
I don't know. I know people anyway, because I go to shows all the time and meet people and say hi. So I don't really cold email people. Like I try to help them out, like with press and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to paint myself as like a taker who's just like latching onto the cords of fame,
grabbing it, getting your claws in it.
Yeah, Lady Fame's always knocking at my door. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, next year, Rodney. Next year.
Right, that is my catchphrase. This time next year, we'll be millionaires.
We'll be
millionaires. How many fivers do I need to be a millionaire?
I'm doing the same sort of maths all the time. How many pre-sales do we need to do to MOT our van? So when we go back to normal, we can actually have a vehicle that's roadworthy.
Yeah, I've got a good old Honda Jazz, mate. Gets the DJ gear, the PA system. Nobody messes with it. It's just like a secret little ninja in the night, mate.
That's what you need. In and out, stealth-like.
Yeah.
The gigging in a car is a wonderful thing when you can just turn up with yourself, do your thing, and go.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll wrap it up shortly, but I just got a couple more questions. So
Sure.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about your like love of madness and like when you first heard about them and like how you felt when you got to the point with the band where you were like playing House of Fun Weekender.
Yeah, madness. I mean, grew up. For me, it was my older brothers were playing it. All there's two older brothers, so you know, from like 5, 6, 7 years old, when you become, I guess, aware of music, there'd be a lot of madness played by them. And, you know, so my mum would be playing Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, brothers would be playing madness, then like Ian Dury and stuff. So I was kind of getting a good, you know, full spectrum of sort of sonic influence. But that was madness for me through my older brothers, was the introduction. So, and then playing with them was very, very exciting. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, slap your face, sort of like, oh, is this really happening? You know.
Yeah.
And that House of Fun week, I think we've done that twice. Yeah, good, great laugh, great weekend. And I think they got one more. It should have been the last one this year, but it's been kicked back to next year. So
I really wanted to go to that. I love.
Well, fingers crossed next year it'll all happen. So
I know, but imagine like what it's like at Butlins now. Like I'm actually worried about it. Like this is how often I go to Butlins. I go to Rockaway Beach. I go to the Punk Weekenders. I was going to go to Madness, and now I'm just thinking like the whole operation's shut down. Everyone's gone home. Who's cleaning the place? Who's like buying the eggs in for the breakfast? Like what's going on? Like everything's on hold. It's scary to think.
Yeah, hopefully it'll all come back. The chickens will still be laying eggs, and the infrastructure will be there.
Need our British breakfast.
Yeah, you definitely do. I've been in a pickle. I think every single Butlins gig I've ever been a part of, I've been in a pickle and needed fuel the next day Yeah, for sure. Fingers crossed. That's all we can do is be positive, and we'll be back there. That's for sure.
Wicked. So we're just going to finish off with some quick fire questions. So you just got to pick your favourite. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right, Del or Rodney?
Del.
Pugs or bulldogs?
A bulldog, without a doubt. Yeah.
Sugs or Bust a Blood Vessel?
Sugs.
Oh, specials or beat?
Because I know that's just because that's not personality. That's just a musical thing.
He's in the title of your band, mate, and you just shunned him.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. Specials or the beat?
Specials.
Oh, roast dinner or fish and chips?
Can I have both? One for lunch, one for dinner.
No, one's obliterated
fish
and one
chips.
lives
Fish and
on.
chips. I think it's got to be fish and chips.
Barstool Preachers or Cock Sparrow?
Sparrow.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom.
Who'd you rather get rid of, the royal family or Boris?
Oh, come on! Allow me both for this one. Allow me both. Boris is the more imminent.
Yeah.
Problem
Clown.
For me. Clown. I mean, yeah. I think Boris, but if I was allowed both, then that might be my opportunity to, vote out both of them.
So if you had to choose one album that would live on and one that would be gone forever, what would you choose to save? I'll Take What I Want or Our Night Out?
Oh, flipping heck. I guess Our Night Out, because it's the first one that captured all that.
Because you just printed all the vinyl, so.
Yeah, because you need to buy a copy because it's amazing. It's, imagine that. We've just had a load of these made and you've deleted the album. Oh, no. That is only Fools and Horses sketch right there. Our Night Out. And then deleting, Our Night Out. I'll keep that. Keep Our Night Out.
All right, what would you rather give up wearing for a year, Fred Perry or flat caps?
Flat caps, because I'm wearing just a beanie right now. Fred Perry's just, it's kind of like, I can't. That's my thing, our thing. It's like, it's too important, I'm afraid.
And what's the best way to travel, London Underground or a Lambretta?
Lambretta, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But although you might die in London, but
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Go out proud.
If I've been out boozing in Camden, the last thing I want to do is ride a Lambretta or any sort of two-wheeled mode of transport. So tube is preferable, but Lambretta all the way.
Excellent. All right. So last of all, could you just tell us any details on the new album? Are you working on album 5? Have you got some collaborations?
Yeah. So yes, we are looking at putting together a new album for album 5. How is that possible? 5 albums. But there's not anytime soon. This has been a lovely thing to do. Celebrate Our Night Out. And it's birthday, 10th birthday. So but new music is sort of happening. It's bubbling away, and we'll start getting together when we can to work some songs through, and then start maybe recording a 5th album. So I think maybe 2020. Where is it? 21, 22, May. Yeah. Give us a bit of time, and hopefully we'll be back out with some more tunes, more teasers.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for your time, mate. And
thanks, Paula. It's been great. Yeah.
I want to send all my love to the band and to your family and to yourself. So thank you so much for the music, and good luck with everything. Thanks a lot. Lovely chatting. Hey guys, DJ Paula Frost here from Way Out Radio, the one and only punk and reggae station, broadcasting every week. Go to wayoutradio.com for more. So I just want to tell you guys about the brand new fan club we've just launched. It's absolutely amazing. You can choose from contributing £5, £10 or £20 per month to keep the station alive, pay our guests handsomely, and keep music money in the musician's pocket and in the punk world and in the reggae world. So find out more about that at wayoutradio.com. Thank you very much.